Most kids don't like tummy time, but tummy time is very important for their development. In the early days, it really helps to keep a baby off their head because if you're following all the recommendations that we give you to help reduce the incidence of SIDS, you're putting your baby on her back to sleep. But this can lead to flat head syndrome. So tummy time helps get her off her head, and it also helps to strengthen her upper body, which is good because it then leads to rolling over, and as she gets older, it helps her to meet other developmental milestones. So it's best if you do tummy time 2 to 3 times a day and only do it for 4 to 5 minutes at a time if she's really hating it. That's okay. And because she's 6 months old, she's old enough at this point to turn it into playtime. Get down on the floor with her and shake toys in front of her face and slowly move them to one side or the other. And this will get her to move her torso and her body, her head from side to side, and will get her more excited about doing it. Hopefully. But you mentioned you had a question specifically about how it relates to crawling, and it is good for her to be on her tummy so she can learn how to roll over and such, but usually crawling happens when a baby starts to sit up on their own. And if toys are put just a little bit out of their reach, then they lurch forward to get those toys. And they'll eventually lurch onto their hands and knees, and usually they start swaying and rocking back and forth, and then eventually they start to crawl. So just playing with your child on the floor will encourage these different milestones, but usually kids don't sit up on their own till about 7 months of age. And in case you're interested, I'm going to tell you a few other developmental milestones that a child should reach by about 7 months of age, and these are outlined by the American Academy of Pediatrics. A child should roll both ways from front to back and back to front, sit up with and without support of her hands, reach for things with one hand, transfer objects from hand to hand, and use the raking grasp. So not necessarily the pincer grasp yet, but the raking grasp. At this point, she can see full color vision. She can understand distance and depth a little bit better and has the ability to track objects better. She should respond to her own name and also begin to respond to no. She should be able to distinguish emotions by the tone of your voice and use her voice to express joy and displeasure. So maybe you'll get a taste of what she's starting to feel and think at this point. She should also enjoy social play and be interested in mirror images. So she should like to be able to look at herself in the mirror. These are just a few things. If you feel like she's off track on any of these, it would be best to talk to the pediatrician, and they can decide if what she's doing or not doing warrants further investigation or treatment. If you have any other questions for me, though, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page, and recommend us to your friends and family too.